If you're trying to get your ex back, there is one thing you need to do first, and that's to get you back. In the next 30 seconds, I'm gonna make your life a lot more simple, a lot more clear. It's not complicated. When you feel great, you speak great. When you feel great, you make different decisions. When you feel great, you become the kind of person people want to be and the kind of person people want to be around. But feeling great ain't a concept. It's not an idea. It's a skill. Even more accurately put, it's a conditioning. When you feel great, that is the crux, the fuel, the foundation to make everything come true. That is what shifts your relationships in your favor. But again, feeling great is a skill. It's a conditioning. Well, the only reasons why people go many years or decades without even addressing the core is very simple. Most people confuse times in their life where things are going their way. It's very easy to confuse times in your life where you're in Disney World or on vacation or everything's going your way. Just because you can feel good when things are going your way, that is not a skill. The real question is, can you still feel good when things are not going your way? Because the truth is, when your emotions get the better of you, that's exactly when you say and do things you should not be saying or doing. Contrary to popular belief, sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. So if you really want to change the trajectory of your relationship and really rebuild it from the ashes, you first have to get you back. People respond in accordance to the version of you bring to the table. If you get yourself feeling good, you'll start speaking differently, making different decisions, and you'll actually become the kind of person that people want to fight for. Super simple. Address the emotional core, your relationships and your life will turn around. Are you sick and tired of living an emotional Groundhog Day? Do you want to finally feel like yourself again? Awesome. Great. Let's do it. It is go time. All right. So here's the first step. First step in your resurrection is to attend my 5 shifts to go from pain to power in days, not weeks, not months, not years, days. So if you look below the video, you'll see a nice, easy link there to go attend my webinar. Again, it's fully free. See the link below, click it. It'll then take you to a page, just like you see here. Obviously, you're going to claim your spot. You click the link and then put in your name. Simple as that. Book your spot. Within a few minutes, you'll have an opportunity to attend, and I'll show you a world you won't believe. But yeah, this is it. This is the first step here. And by the way, after you're done, you'll have an opportunity to book a call with me, not one of my coaches, me personally, okay? So that's it. This is your first step here. Enjoy the webinar and speak to you soon. Bye-bye. You did this 2 years ago, Mike. You did this to me 2 years ago, and we did it in person. Most the people that I work with now, I'll do it online. They'll get to speak to me a lot. Things have evolved quite a bit since 2 years ago, but you and I actually did it in person, and you did it 2 years ago. So it'd be really awesome to hear how things have evolved over the long term. And what's really great that I want to hear from you too is your life from just an overall abundance perspective is just fucking taken off. So now I'm ready to hear that. Tell me how things changed in the last 2 years since you and I worked together.
Well, I mean, everything. I mean, every single aspect of my life has gotten better, and I know that might even sound kind of like I'm overselling it, but it's not. Like, what you taught me provided a foundation that completely transformed every single aspect of my life financially. Like, when I met you, my company was doing $200,000 in revenue. It's now doing 1.3 million.
Fuck yeah, man. Good for you.
So, thank you. And so we're tripling in size every year now. And I know a huge part of that was basically what you taught me. Just so the financial abundance and just being in the right mindset every single day, regardless of what happened, because as a business owner, not all days are, sunshine and rainbows. And so you got to figure out a way to have a good, strong foundation to be able to get yourself through those tough times. So, that completely changed me financially. Relationally, I'm in an extremely loving relationship, and when I had met you, I was going through like a really bad heartbreak, and I had kind of created this fantasy in my head of, I was dating all these wrong girls, that weren't right for me, and they just weren't going well. It was like this just destructive pattern. And looking back now, I just realized that I just wasn't the truest version of myself. Mm-hmm. I wasn't the best version of myself, and therefore I wasn't attracting the right partner. And now that I've been again, due to this practice and these different rituals that I do every day, it basically has attracted my, otherwise perfect counterpart, because we just mesh so much in every different level, because I'm so aware of what I like, what I don't like, what I'm willing to put up with, what I'm not. My self-worth has gone through the roof by doing this, what you've taught me. So yeah, like I'm saying, like relationally, things have gotten way better for me. Also, when I met you, I was living in the United States for the last 2 years straight. I have been traveling the world. So right after you and I met, I've been to over 20 countries. I lived in Colombia for 1.5 years. I learned to speak Spanish fluently. I just got back from Moscow, 4 days ago, and I'm in San Francisco now. So I've just been traveling the world and just taking in all these new experiences. And again, I contribute a lot of that to the system you've taught me as well, because man, it takes a lot of fucking balls to,
yeah,
start your own business and to persevere and to travel the world. These are things that most people dream of, but never do, because they just are scared and they're not, they're afraid of what's on the other side. But this ritual that you taught me, this practice, this system, gave me the confidence, and it gave me that, drive and vision to, accomplish every single dream that I've had, and I still, of course, have more dreams, but 2 years later, I use this system every single day. I just got done doing one of the things right before we got on the call, so it's like, yeah. So, it's funny because I preach what you teach to my friends, my family. I try to, give them advice and try to help them out with different aspects of the system you taught me. And, because I've become such an advocate, because I know it works and I've seen it work, and I'm living proof that it works. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, like I was saying before we started the recording, I'm just extremely grateful to you. You took so many different things and condensed it down into a simple, easy to understand and practical system that anybody can really use.
The version of you 2 years ago, what would the pep talk you give yourself about as far as why you should do this?
Oh man, I'd basically tell myself, I know you're skeptical. I know you think this is too good to be true. I know that you think there's, I would just basically tell myself that if you want to see your entire world change, your entire life change, if you really want to accomplish and you're serious about accomplishing all these dreams and goals that you have, then this is an absolute must. Because if you don't get this aspect down of life, then you will never truly be happy and you'll never truly be successful. So you have to go.
Understand, this is going to work. It's not easy. You go to the brain gym every day with me, essentially, so to speak. So it's not like it's a magic trick. It is work, but it will get you to where you want to go.
But it's extremely enjoyable work. Once you get in the habit of it, and you're doing it every day, it's like going to the gym. At first it's tough, it's hard to build it, but once you build that muscle up, it just because it's the same feeling I get when I go to the gym. I love going to the gym now because I'm in good shape. I have my routine down. I always feel better when I leave. It's the same thing with this system, that you're teaching. It's at first it's like learning something new, kind of getting into it. But I mean, the mind is an extremely powerful tool. And if you just stick with it, I mean, it'll adapt really quickly.
Yeah, I always ask, again, the question, because people overcomplicate. I'm like, do you have a human brain? Yes or no? Yeah, I do. It's going to work. I mean, it's going to work. It's going to work compared to where you are. No matter where you are, if you understand your baseline, and you're really honest to yourself where you're starting, you'll go light years beyond where you are. There's no doubt. But people, it's like you have to simplify for people sometimes. It's like it's not that complicated. Your brain is, like you said, it's an incredibly adaptive mechanism tool.
We had said that financially, my life has completely changed, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
since I met
Yeah, you said 200,000 to 1.2 million.
yeah,
Like that?
yeah, 1.3.
1.3.
Yeah, and
We're talking to anyone listening here, that is 6 times. He has increased his revenue 6 times. So this is really
in
what
2
he
years.
paid for my program was a fucking smidget.
Well, that's in 2 years, and again,
Yeah.
you know, I don't have a college degree, and I'm 29 years old. So, you know, there's no like, there's no limitation. I think your question earlier was, what had I done before?
Oh yeah,
doing
yeah. What? Yeah,
So,
it's all. That's the other thing I like people to know. It's like I take a lot of pride that I'm focusing on the core. Your emotional state's your energy, and making it a skill, a tool, something that's repeatable. And you know, what's and I like to get people away from the band-aids. Things don't address that core. It's common sense. If your energy and your emotional states are the fuel for everything you want, and if you're getting a bunch of well-meaning concepts, well, that does you no fucking good, because it doesn't matter what you know, it matters what you can do. So yeah, what did you try? Without, I don't want to badmouth anybody, so you don't have to do names.
no, it's okay.
What type of programs did you try that did not get you an outcome before?
Yes. Well, so I had probably 8 years leading up, or 7 years leading up to meeting you, I had, read hundreds of books. You know, that was really where I tried to get, my help. So self-help books, I had read all those. I had read books on finance and success. I had read autobiographies on people that had become really successful. I had watched a bunch of motivational videos, you know what I mean? I had worked my freaking ass off, you know, to try to become rich. Like there were a lot of things that I had done prior, and then also dated a bunch, you know, I tried everything, you know, because I've always been one of those types of people, and I'm always trying to figure out, okay, how can I get better? What's the key that I'm missing in order to be healthier, happier, you know, et cetera. So I would say I honestly exhausted a lot of resources before I met up with you. So that's partly why I was so skeptical, because I was thinking, you know, I've already done a ton of work on myself. I've already read so many books. I've listened to, you know, various audiobooks. And so that was one of the main reasons I was so skeptical, because I just felt like, you know what has this guy read? What does this guy know that I don't know?
Yeah.
And turns out quite a bit.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, and there were aspects that I had learned in those self-help books that we definitely applied, but it was in a way and in a system that could make it stick. Mm-hmm. And that could actually, practically change my life, you know, in a way that I could, you know, perform and do every day that would actually apply into my life, you know, because you can read a book, right? Like on anything, right? You can learn something amazing and you go, oh my God, that was an amazing book. But if you don't apply any of those things, then it will have absolutely zero impact on your life, even if you know the knowledge. And that's what I loved about this program. So yeah, I mean, I would say I would be very surprised that if somebody took your course that had tried as many things as I had before getting to your course. I might be wrong in that, you know, but again, I had read hundreds of books and I had really tried to figure this out on my own. Mm-hmm. And then of course, hardcore religion and like a lot of other things I had tried too. And I'm not putting down religion in any way either, but I was seeking what you basically had in religion, right? In these different things. And nothing ever did it for me until I took your program. You're right. You're absolutely right. Because I can incorporate the different key points out of those things into the system, you know? So it's, yeah, man, I just got to go back and say how grateful I am again. You know, I know we haven't talked in a long time, but, yeah, I'm just super grateful for learning everything you taught me, because it completely transformed my life. So, I'm really happy to know that you're doing this for other people, because anyone that does this and really takes it seriously and really does the work, because as you said, it requires work.
Yep.
But anyone that will do the work consistently, there is no doubt in my mind, zero doubt, that it will completely transform their lives, because it has for me in every way. You know, like I said, relationally, financially, physically, when we got on this call before we recorded, you mentioned how much slimmer I looked.
Yeah.
You
That's right. Yep.
I've lost 20 pounds and my body fat percentage is extremely low. Like I'm in phenomenal shape. So physically it's been very good for me. And then spiritually, I am like on a whole nother level, than
I'm sure.
So, I mean, these are like, 4 huge points: relational, financial, physical, spiritual. All of them have excelled tremendously since we met 2 years ago. And I implemented your system into my life.